Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour.
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien, monsieur. How are you, Peter? Are you all right?
Ça va, ça va.
Comme ça.
Yeah, yourself. Why did we speak French, sir?
There was an event last night where the Old Alliance.
Old Alliance bit. It was the Old Alliance bit coming out, was it?
It is. That's the one, yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
There we go. There's the Gaelic person as well. There's Isabel. Hi, Isabel. Really frosty. It's snowing outside here again, Isabel. And I'm looking out my shed door at the tree that I covered in lights yesterday, and it's shacking about a bit.
It was just pissing by this morning.
Yes. So, hi, Derek. Wonder where Derek is this year. Or today, he'll be probably in Brisbane or somewhere.
I don't know.
You would never can. Anyway, listen, wonderful. Nice to see you again, folks. We've got a wonderful guest for you tonight, so please keep that share on. We have singer Ellie Beaton on from the northeast of Scotland. Well, she's in Glasgow, but
she's from the northeast.
She's from the northeast. Great singer. You're going to have a wonderful thing. Please keep the comments coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know where you are. Let us know what the weather's like wherever you are, because we like to hear all these kind of things. We're quite interested in our audience. We like to know what the audience is up. Yeah. And while we're on that audience, thank you so much for all of you that nominated and voted for us at the Trad Awards last week. Unfortunately, we didn't win. But I was saying to Davey, I've been nominated for the last 3 years now, and I'm starting to feel a bit like a bridesmaid now, actually. I'll maybe be the bride someday, you know.
I did wonder why you were in white on Sunday.
For British Columbia. Wow, fantastic. Yeah, so that's why I had the white dress on, Davey. I was going to be your bride for a night if we'd won. You see. Anyway, listen. The thing was, on the night in the hall, we got a magic fab big cheer.
The biggest cheer out of the lot of them. No
We
offence, Rab.
done good. Yeah. But I was fair chuffed. It was great being out with Big Rab. If Indy's watched the Big Rab show, we went for a Mexican meal first, very traditional Scottish dish. And then we went to the Trad Awards. But we were just brushing up on our Mexican as well while we were at it. And
Yes,
Davey
it was-
knew that coming from Shetland, my chance of getting a Mexican in Shetland is zilch.
Unless they're working there.
There was a boatload of them came in the tall ships the last time, Mexicans, I think. So there might be this time. I don't know.
The place is still there.
But listen, no, thanks very much to everybody
Yes.
that did. We really, really do appreciate that. And we appreciate the Trad Awards for putting it on. It was great. MG Alba, everybody. It was a smashing night. Fair enjoyed it. Had a great time. I felt brilliant the next day in Cairn. Had a slight headache or something. I don't know.
Short-term memory loss.
Yes, I think that's what it was. Yes. Evening, Jamie Starr, the most travelled man in Scotland on our show. Jamie knows every nook and cranny everywhere, all over the place.
And he knows where to park it as well.
Yeah. What was he doing the other day? Was he not taking the women's rugby team to Aberdeen or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, aye, somewhere.
He does a lot.
Anyway, that's fab. Hi, Stephen. Stephen used it.
No, it was great. Sunday was great. We bumped into a load of our previous guests, which is rather good. We got some really good music. Only half of it was shown on the night, but we seen what was supposed to be the Gordon Shand dance band, but it was who ended up playing?
It was Tom Orr's band.
Tom Orr's band, yeah. As well as Trip, which we've seen.
Farah.
Erin Ray, Farah.
Erin Ray was magic. She was great.
Elephant Sessions.
Lots of people. The Tayside Fiddlers.
Yep. Tayside Fiddlers. Fantastic.
And a big shout out to the Speyside Fiddlers that came down and done the wee tribute to James Alexander.
Yes. Yeah, it was really good.
And they played the music of the Spey, and it was a beautiful arrangement. Really, really nice. And
if
Mr.
you get
Chappell,
a chance to see that, it's brilliant.
He was starting the guitar. I wondered if he had his finger in that.
But it was great to meet this one.
Oh, yeah. At long last, we got to be famous because we got a photo taken with Katie.
We did that.
Katie R, and she was in good form and she looked stunning. She'd done it, so it was awful nice to meet Katie. We were all chuffed to bits. It was great. And she's doing magic there with the youth pipe band, everything. She's doing great. She's just having a failure time.
Hopefully she's feeling a bit better now because she's not been well this week.
Yeah, I hope you're not. I think I saw she'd been out the day again or something. So
well, actually, I must have missed that.
It's been up to something again. So. But
no, it's really good. As well as that, we bumped into a certain Mr. Charlie McCarran, who has confirmed he would like to come on the show. We just need to schedule it.
Great.
We're speaking to Paul McKenna. I was speaking to loads of folk. The Tartan Tunes brand is out there.
Well, it's amazing when you think we've had 200 guests on now nearly, and there's still more and more and more and more to come. So I think that just shows what a healthy situation our music scene's in, to be honest. I think it's pretty good.
Speaking of a healthy situation,
Simon's always running about organising all this stuff as well. Simon does really well. So good.
You ruined my link there, Peter, but we'll try again.
Sorry,
Speaking of fantastic musicians, they're following the death of the fantastic rapper Doddy Weir.
Yeah.
They are trying to get Doddy's Dream, which is a Bruce McGregor tune with the rest of the Fiddlers, to Christmas number 1. So here's the video, and if you can, I'll post a link to.
But I think there's lots and lots of musicians on this track, isn't there?
There is. Let's see how many have not been on the show.
Right. There we go.
Here we go.
Good plan. Great. No, it's a brilliant piece. Very, very, very good piece. And I love that tartan. I think we should have had that tartan on, by the way.
Very bright. Very, very bright.
I saw somebody saying that they thought they would like to have a Doddy tartan day, that everybody could just wear a tiny bit of tartan. I think that'd be a good thing too.
Maybe his birthday. Maybe his birthday.
Yeah, that would be awfully good. So good. Right. So we've got the Trad Awards out of the way. That was fantastic.
Yes.
Had a great time. Now
the link is here. Sorry, the link is here. So if you want to go follow the link, and you can purchase a copy of the track on Apple Music, etc. And the more folk that support it, the better the chances of getting to number one.
Which is magic. Yeah, brilliant. Fabulous. I'm just looking for one thing here, and I'm done. Good. Right. The year will go on. We are getting near the end of 2022 already.
Only 2 seconds. How many shows we got left? One?
Just one show left, I think. Yeah.
One show left next week.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it. And then we're back. We've got quite a lot of guests lined up for next year already, actually.
We do. It's cracking. It is cracking.
So it's really good. That's good.
But Peter, who do we have tonight?
Well, I'm going to leave you. You're the master of...
No. It's your turn.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very privileged to have on the show tonight, all the way from the northeast of Scotland, Aberdeenshire. Well, I think it's Aberdeenshire. Am I right in saying it's Aberdeen? Yeah, I think so. But now Biden in Glasgow. And I can't wait to have her on. She's a fantastic singer. We've got a fantastic voice. We're going to talk all about music, and we're going to talk about song for that area and what she's doing with different parts of her life just now, because she's actually studying classical music just now, as opposed to the traditional, of course. So we'll speak about that too. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ellie Beaton. Hello, Ellie. How are you doing?
Howdy.
Thank you. How are you?
There's Edna in straight away.
Look at that. Look, that's our followers know where you're from before we did. Rothy Norman. Yeah, hands up for Rothy Norman. Yep, that's it. Well done, Edna. Ellie, thanks very much for coming on. I didn't get a chance to catch up with you at the Trad Awards because there were so many folk there last week and we were all over the place. And but it was a great night. I enjoyed it.
Okay, and just bumped into Albany there, really. It's kind of
you've done well in the past at the Trad Awards before, though, haven't you?
I did. It was my time last year. I was up against the other incredible singers, Beth Malcolm, Cameron Nixon, and Callum McElroy. And for some reason, I won it.
Well, there's a good reason you won it, but there we go. And oh my goodness, there's Mr. Alan Taylor on tonight. That's fantastic. We were just speaking about Alan Taylor there just before we came on air, weren't we? We were talking about Jodie Murchison and Alan and Joe Aitken and Scotty Gardner and all these folks you probably can't all your life.
Since I actually only got into the TMSA circuit when I was about 14.
Right.
I came into it a bit later, so kind of bumped in, fell in with that crew when I was a bit
Tell everybody home and abroad what that stands for, because they'll probably know.
TMSA is the Traditional Music and Song Association. And
there you go, folks.
They just kind of keep the traditional stuff alive, basically.
Yeah. And I was talking to you earlier because I'd got to my first Bothy Ballad competition that I'd seen at Keith Festival this year, and I just had a whale of a time. I absolutely loved it. It was just fantastic. I love the Bothy Ballads. The fact that it's a story, isn't it? It's the whole story of the thing, and it's just magic, and it's just it's magical. I think it was Shona Donaldson that won it that day. She won it that day. So.
Well, they did.
So right, so where did music come along first then? If you didn't get into that until you were about 14, were you singing before that?
I was singing before that. It was just I never got into the kind of TMSA competitions. I was originally a Highland dancer.
All right.
So in the summers in Huntly, they would put on like these tourist ceilidhs.
Right.
And the dance school that I was with at the time, they were kind of the artists that would perform at these
Right.
Cayleys. So
Right.
that was really how I got into the music properly. Mom and Dad would I sing, but they would never ever class themselves as singers.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
through that. It was kind
It's
of
funny that area as well. Huntley has produced a lot of good musicians and all that area. There's been lots come out of there. I mean,
good neck of the woods is that bit.
well, I mind folk like Graham Mitchell that played the accordion. Graham was he a maths teacher at the school there or something like that? Graham,
I've actually got his LP up there. I don't know if you can see it, but I found it at a charity shop in Glasgow. Fine fiddle.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, Graham was a great. But see, when I was learning to play, that was one of the bands we listened to all the time. Was Graham's band? You know, it just had such a tight, crisp sound to it, and all that. It was really good. You know. Judy Davidson
My party
played with him at that
comment
time.
would be that I can't play the pipes.
Sorry, say that again, Ellie.
The wee comment from Bob there. I can play the pipes.
Oh, there we go, Bob. I wonder how Bob's dancing and singing is.
Wouldn't have came.
We'll get him to do that next year in the World's programme on the telly.
Yes.
Bob can sing and dance for us as well. That's good. Yes, he says. Yes, no bother. Brilliant. Fantastic. Great. So you piped as well then?
Very briefly, yes.
Right.
I hadn't played them in a long time, but for a couple of years.
So did you learn what at school or something?
It was just through a pipe band for a couple of years.
Okay, cool. What pipe band did you go to?
It was Contour that I ended up playing with.
Oh yeah,
the last week. So.
We used to get Contour pipe band up here to come to Up Helly Ave. They come up 2 or 3 times and they played Up Helly Ave when I was when I was quite major of the lyric band. They come up and played them with a big band. It was good.
Oh, good crack.
Really cool. Good fun. Anyway, back to the singing, which you've become famous for. So you were singing a bit before that. So how did it come about that you got into this traditional side then?
Well, being for the Northeast, like my granny, she would be singing songs, and then Mum and Dad would sing and all. So it was there. I just was never really interested, but just kind of came quite naturally. Eventually, I suppose. Was I singing about the house?
Right.
I mind the primary.
Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that going to the competitions and things?
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Lots of pals. Me and Arthur Coates would go up together. Fiddle player. So
yes. His Arthur's father is staying about 10 miles down the road from me now on the Yell in Shetland.
Me and Arthur were catching up over a Christmas dinner last week, and he was telling me about that.
Yeah, because I was playing at a thing in the local hall up here, and the fellow came up and he says, "I'm Arthur Coates, Dad." Oh, right. Because we had Arthur in the show, Jens, as well. You know, so, no, it's a small world. It was great. I think we should have a song for our listeners at home, David. What are we having?
We should. We are having a collaboration. So we have yourself singing with Cameron Nixon, who also we mentioned earlier on, and this is the Sleepy Tune, and this is during the Celtic Connections concert. Is that right? It
was the opening concert, but it was kind of the last couple of days of the COVID restrictions back in January, so it's a very empty hall.
Well, you've done better than me because my gig got cancelled because it was supposed to be the day before the COVID lifted, kind of style thing, so they had to cancel.
Oh, that's annoying.
Well, that's what they told us, anyway.
So do you want to tell us a bit about the Sleepy Tune?
So Sleepy Tune was a fair just fair doing about the Kennethment area. And it was one of the popular firms like your Drumdelgies and Broadlands. And it's just a song about that and working on the firm there and the kind of raw stuff that happens when you bide and work in the firm.
Did Ivan Drever do a version of this with Wolfstone at one point in time?
I think so.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go then.
Great.
Sleepy Tune.
It happened that last Whitsunday, I tired on my place. As I get up the entry for to save myself some grace, and sing airy, 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 and sing airy, airy, and I think we had a Mitchell, the fee we did presume. He's a farmer faking effing, and he bides and see be tune. And sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, if ye and I agree, says he, will he the fairest play. For I never bid my servants work, I've been 10 years a day. And sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity. If all be true, you'll tell to me you think the place will suit. And I will gang along with you, although you're an ugly brute. And sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity.
Was to bed at 9 and never over 2. For every time we left it, we'd be fine like half a canoe. And sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, Money's a coon, have I been fine, but never lost the heart. My neighbour now's as fine a coon for cow, but now we're a peart. And sing airy, arity, and sing airy, arity, never heeded Adam, but I would the pass. Sometimes to buy tobacco, sometimes to see what a lass. And sing airy, and sing airy, the term has come at last, your feet is safely won. And well, I want a rainy meeting that's there will be some fun. And sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy. And we'll tell them all the usage that we got us to. And sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy. We'll see I'll Adam there just at his show bros. And maybe I'll be a hanky just to deck the sloppy nose. And sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy, and sing airy.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, wow, it's a great song. Brilliant song. Ladies and gentlemen at home, remember to keep sharing the programme. That's fantastic. You're doing a brilliant job. And keep your comments coming in, please. We love to hear comments. We want to know where everybody is, all over the world as well, because it's always fantastic to ken who's. When I got excited there when I saw Vine, I was watching for Graceland. I thought, Graceland? But it was in Stromness. But never mind. It could have been Graceland. But I like Stromness. Stromness will do for me. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, great. So, then, you had to leave the northeast and you headed for Glasgow. How was that?
A culture shock. Oh my days. I left the peaceful area of Follarule, Rothy-Norman, and moved to the big bad city. I used to be on my shop at night.
It's one thing, isn't it? Visiting for a day or something, but when you actually go and bide there, it's a different thing.
It took me weeks to get used to streetlights. Because my bedroom back home, I never shut the curtains, nothing. Yeah. And I did that the first week biding in halls, and I think I maybe came out the shower, and I was greeted by a friendly face at the other side, and that's when I shut the curtains.
That was your first lesson in curtain shutting.
Yes.
But, yeah, it is kind of strange. I find it strange coming from Shetland and going down to Glasgow and places, and there's shops that are joined to each other. You know, there's like streets of shops joined to each other. We just don't get that. There's one shop, and then there's a mile away there's another shop, and so on and so on. So we talk about the joined up shops.
Shops. I work
But
in a TV sports in Glasgow as well, and that's also something quite interesting.
right. So you working as well as studying this now then?
Working as well as studying on gigs,
Wow.
so it's a busy
Okay.
schedule.
Right. So were you gigging quite a lot before you went to uni, or what was going on?
I was doing quite a lot. I went to the music school in Aberdeen, so I was quite
Yeah.
full on. So I was doing a lot of gigs with Arthur Coates, Andrew Legg, and Stuart Jack, fiddle player, guitarist, and then I was doing some of my own stuff. So it's kind of
Yeah.
a good reason to move to Glasgow because I originally wanted to study at London, but
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
kind of thought about gigs and all that, it was a lot easier just to bide here and go to RCS.
Now tell us, you took the decision. We spoke about this before, but you've gone for the classical course as opposed to the traditional course. And I'm sure with the traditional course, you could just have soared straight in there, no problems at all. But you've challenged yourself by going for a slightly different genre altogether, haven't you?
So
what was your thinking behind that then?
For me, I thought that it would be easier to study classical and continue the trad stuff on the side rather than doing the trad course with classical on the side.
Okay.
So it was just.
So did you always have an interest in classical as well then?
When I auditioned for the music school in Aberdeen, I was just a trad singer, and they said, "Lovely voice, but we can only offer you classical lessons." So I was like, "That's fine, I'll do that." And then I turned out to be all right at it. So I just kept going, really, and that's how it turned off.
Brilliant.
On the back of that, I would like to hear Miss and Dorma in a Doric accent.
I've done Handel's Messiah in Doric.
Okay.
Handel's Messiah in Doric?
There's this Gordon Hay did the score a couple of years ago, and he translated. I think he did the Bible as well whilst he was at it, but
right.
As you do, as you do.
Yeah, there was a fellow Charlie Gregg up here done the Bible in Shetland dialect as well, and it's quite interesting when you see it. Well, he got a good bit of it done anyway, but I'm not sure if it's a full thing yet or what's happened, but a lot of it was. But anyway, so the classical side, do you enjoy performing classical side then as well? You obviously do.
I love it. Love every bit of it. I like hearing both of them. So, but I was in Hansel and Gretel at the start of the year at Celtic Connections time, and then just recently come second in a big competition at RCS as well, classical singing. So,
so how does a competition like that kind of take place? What's the spec for that? Do you have to submit elementary pieces or?
It was a Scots Song competition actually, but it's not sung like a Scots song. It's like oh. So I did two really weird pieces for that. Right. So, but there was 39 of us for the Hale. There's about 100 folk on the opera course, so there was 39 of us entered. So a lot of folk.
That's amazing, but I think it's fantastic to keep your options open, like you're saying. And I mean, if you do, would your dream be to be a full-time musician at some point in time and be a singer?
Hopefully, the dream is to go to Germany and do opera singing, and hopefully get a career in both the traditional stuff and the classical stuff. That would be the ideal world.
I remember once out in Norway, we were out playing a thing. A festival thing, and there was a girl there that was an opera singer that turned up from Austria or something, and she was on the bill as well. Anyway, we all got together and had the crack in the bar and all that, and she was great fun as well. But we ended up one night sitting on a boat just outside, and I was playing the accordion and she was singing away, doing some kind of opera type stuff. And it was amazing, just the power and the feeling of her voice. It really makes you appreciate a voice when you hear it. Singing as well, so it's really good. So do you find you use some of your techniques in your Scottish stuff now? Are you doing that? Using
sort of. I've got a better understanding of how it works. So it just makes it a bit easier, really.
It's really interesting, and I think Davey kens more about that side, but like I say, the piping centre and all that, I mean, the level of things has gone up so much now with tuition and things like that, that I would almost say, like, people getting taught piping there, it's almost like getting taught classically in a way, isn't it? You're getting taught a classic way of playing. And that provides something, whereas before it was very much kind of just happened to be who was there that could teach you what they knew, kind of style of thing. And the standards there are great, and it's really nice to see that right through the whole, right through. And we had, you have to remind me, David, the chap that was on the accordion player, played the classical music as well. Who was that? Played the Cajun
Neil
drum.
Sutcliffe.
Neil Sutcliffe. Neil. And when Neil was on, and Neil was studying, I think he's studying the classical course at Glasgow as well. And it's fantastic when you see what he can do. He just steps into any role.
Yeah.
Really good. Right,
But,
where are we going?
But we're going to bring it back down to a classic. I'd call it, it would be a bothy ballad. Farewell to Tarwathie.
Sort of a wheeling-ish song.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the shanty kind of, not really. Nah, fine. Do you want to tell us a bit about this one then?
Yeah, this one is written by a man called George Scroggie, and it's just about going off to the Baffin Bay in Greenland and wanting to come back to Tarwathie. So that's
Tarwathie is in.
Well, it's near. I think it's in Aberdeenshire, near Cleveland.
Just a quick one before we hear the song. I see Judith asking there, where are you doing the Messiah and Doric? But I don't think you're actually doing that now, are you? It was something you did.
No, it was just something that was done a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and hello to Tony in South Africa and Rab in Ireland. Wonder if Rab Lennox can sing opera.
I wonder if Rab Lennox can sing. Oh no, he can. He can. We've seen video footage of him singing.
That's right.
Remember
we
that?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't get any versions of that on Sunday night though.
No, it was very well behaved.
It's unlike some.
So here we go. Farewell to Tarwathie.
So this is Farewell to Tarwathie. Farewell to Tarwathie and a Jew Mormon tell, and the dear lands of Kerryman, I bid ye farewell. I am bound now for Greenland and ready to sail, in hopes to find riches in a hunting the whale. Farewell to my comrades, as a while we must part. Likewise the dear lassie who first won my heart. The lands of Greenland my love will not share. The longer the absence, the more loving she'll feel. A ship as we'll rig it and ready to sail. The crew they are anxious to follow the whale, for the icebergs do float and the stormy winds blow. For the land and the ocean is covered with snow. The calm coast of Greenland is barren and bare, and nae sea time nor harvest is ever keeping there. The birds there sing sweetly on mountain and dale, but there isna a bird to sing to the whale. There is nae habitation for man to stay there, and the king of the country is the fierce Greenland. and the dear lands of Kerryman, I bid ye farewell. I am bound now for Greenland and ready to sail, in the hopes to find riches in a hunting the whale.
Really good. Brilliant.
Thank you.
I recognise that scene there. Was that the BBC Young Musician of the Year?
It was, yeah, back last year. So
And you were quite young to get into that.
I was just 18. I got into the semi-finals was my first week living in Glasgow.
Right, right.
So it was like move into flat, do that, and then do the rest of the stuff.
How does that all work with the backing musicians and that there? Do you take their music and they go for it, or what happens?
You get, for the finals, you get 2 rehearsals and you just provide chords and then maybe a few notes. And then that's it. Get a good bash.
And they go for it.
Yeah, the thing is, they never have rubbish backing at the young trads. It's always top class musicians that are provided.
Yes. Wonderful to work with.
There's an awful lot of folks sending messages in tonight. That's wonderful to see. They're enjoying you, Ellie. Good. What are you working on just now? So you're in 4th year at the. Are you?
Third year. Just.
So another 2 years to go.
Another 2. So.
Well, another year after this.
Another 2 years to go.
Well, no, really, you've got a year and a half to go. That's right. Year and a half.
So how did that work with the whole COVID thing for the classical side of things? A lot of it being kind of one-on-one distance lectures, or was it all online at the time?
At the time, I had 1 performance class and 1 lesson in person for the whole of first year.
Wow.
So it was an awful long way to move just for a couple of classes, but the Wi-Fi back home is useless.
Right.
So there was no option abiding there.
Did you not find out keeping motivation going? Was that not quite hard when you've done? You just got there, you've had 2 live classes, and this is ace. This is what I want to do, and then all of a sudden, for them, there we go. Take that.
It was really difficult. I bed in a flat with 2 musical theatre singers, a filmmaker, and a violinist. Maybe missing somebody out. And a CPP, Contemporary Performance Practice. And
you could have made a movie yourselves.
Oh, I was actually in my pal's film the other week. She's just filming something. Filmmaker. So, but no, it was difficult, like because they were not allowed in the building, whereas I was exiled to my room because apparently too much spit and saliva is involved with singing.
Well, wasn't it just because you came to Aberdeen, surely?
Maybe it was. I didn't ask.
I remember feeling so sorry. I mean, I teach in schools, and I felt so sorry for youngsters that were using voice as an instrument, and it was so limited. And the woodwind and the brass instruments too, and then all this notions they come up with. You'd have a big screen between the tutor and the performer, but it was like 4 feet by 3 feet or whatever it was, and then there was the hail of the room, and you thought, I can't get this. I'm not sure how this is working, And even the pipers, they had a terrible time.
It was my hail first year. I couldn't face my singing teacher directly like that. We had to look at each other at a mirrored image. So she was there and I was here, like looking at each other through the mirror. Weird. So the first time I looked at her was in 2nd year.
I actually, I know. Well, I had two pupils that started in primary 5 or something like that, remotely online learning the accordion, and I didn't meet them until about a year and a half later. And I walked into the school, and they were kind of like, this is him, this is real, and it's so nice. You can't beat it, I don't think, though, can you? To be next to each other. I mean, thank goodness for the internet. Thank goodness it's been there because it's kept the world going. But otherwise, we'd have been. I don't know what might have happened, but it's been great to see it. So, But good. So, what are you working on at this precise moment in time? Then, traditional wise as well as classical, what are you up to?
So I had quite a busy summer at gigs with Gilly O'Flaherty, guitarist for Ullapool.
Right.
And then the plan is to record an EP next year. But being a student, you're kind of exempt for every bit of funding money that you could possibly think of. So I think
Doesn't make a lot of sense, that does it? But there we go.
no, it's quite frustrating. Like if you want a career post study, for example, you kind of have had to do a lot of work while studying to get something. So if you kind of get funding, it's a bit frustrating.
That's right. It's not like you can just suddenly graduate and walk out and all your work suddenly comes in the door. It doesn't work
exactly.
Like
that. But just kind of fundraising money for that, just doing gigs and saving up the money, and then hopefully that'll be next year's plan.
So the gigs you were doing through the summer and that, what kind of gigs were you doing then? Is that kind of
just kind of folk festivals? Drove the car to Sidmouth for the week.
Okay.
Never again will I drive 12 hours, but especially in a 2007 Ford Fusion, never again.
See, we just don't get this. Do they? We need grants. We need grants to get cars and make EVs and everything.
To be fair, Peter, it doesn't matter what whiskey it is, grants, bells, anything will do.
Thank you, David. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh, what's the one off song? We're going to start.
Yes, we have Lonely in the Bothy, which is from, was it Under the Canvas this year?
No, it was. I can't remember.
It looks like it. It looks like it.
It looks. Is there a boat in the background?
I'm not sure. We'll see.
I think it's a Mockfest.
The Mockfest. Maybe. Yes.
Let's go for the safe option. We'll talk about this after we've watched it.
Here we go.
Comforts, far you can, for it's alone.
Lovely. Really, really nice.
Thank you.
We're getting nothing but good comments here. Oh, Peter's gone. Peter away.
I'm actually feel a bit
Pushed it on.
better.
Peter has left the building. So when you're actually choosing songs for your set list, Ellie, do you?
I'm back.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry, it's fine. I can't. When you
You know what
when you are,
I
No.
moved my moose. That was all I
silly.
did.
That was silly.
Mm.
I was saying to Ellie there, just asking about her choice of set lists for gigs. How she kind of, no doubt you've got a huge backlogs of bothy ballads and other songs that you've worked on. What do you kind of look for when you're doing the gigs?
I usually like to sing stuff for Faram Fae, so the kind of region, Aberdeenshire, or the general northeast, really. But it just depends. If I like the soon of it, I'll sing it, kind of thing. I'm no fussy.
Yeah. See, one thing I noticed that I thought was fantastic when I was at that competition that I've mentioned a few times was the audience join in as well when they join in with the choruses, and it's fantastic. You know, it's just it's what a sound it is when everybody's just singing a kind of communal singing round about. It's just magic.
Well, funny you should mention that because we're going to jump into another song. I've swapped them around slightly, and this is one you've written yourself.
Oh yes, it was.
We can't keep living like this, and you do meant you can see the bothy ballad background when you say, and that's the chorus. So in you come. Do you want to tell us a bit about this song and how you came about writing it?
Well, it kind of came about. There's a funny story about I was a bit skint at the time, and I ended up at this flat party in Glasgow, and I was far too skint to pay for a taxi to get home. So what I did was this first subway that leaves in the morning is at 6:30. So I was like, right, I'll wait a toot and get the subway then. And I got on at Cessnock, shut my in for about 2 seconds, and woke up, and it was 8 a.m. I'd fallen asleep on the subway and done about 4.5 weeks. So it kind of came through that, and then a boy that I was actually seeing at the time said he didn't want to be with me. So then it was a perfect kind of togetherness.
That was a bit of a train crash there then.
Yeah.
Should have woke up to that though.
It was
so here we have. Yeah, so here we have We Can't Keep Living Like This.
This is We Can't Keep Living Like This. So that's that. Thank you very much.
That you're coming back to mine.
yeah, love that. Fantastic song. Really good. I was just thinking that, right, I want you to imagine this scene. I was just thinking about how sociable singing is and being a singer, right? And the communal thing, the audience joining in with you, all part together. And then I thought, Davey, Glasgow Green, the World Pipe Band Championships. Field Marshal or Inverary or Shots or one of them marches into the centre circle and 2 or 3 of the audience join in at the side. I'm not sure if it would go down very well.
No, I don't think it would.
Does that mean that pipe band's not very audience friendly sometimes? Then?
There's audience and there's enthusiasts. What I did say to Peter off camera was that it's very much in the style of Finlay Napier, the song. and I'd really like to hear Finlay cover that. maybe the other side of it. Maybe the other side of it.
The flip side of the story.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
Have you written one? Have you written many songs?
I have actually. It's a funny one because like when you're doing a gig, people are coming to hear your kind of trad stuff. So some people are kind of like, "Oh, shut up! Don't want any of your stuff." But some folk actually quite like it. So it just depends on the gig, really. Yeah. Sometimes I'll sing this stuff, sometimes I won't.
It's quite the same with the big acts who are on a tour for their new album, and then folk are wanting a hit from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I've found that a lot when I'm touring. Yeah.
Play the hits. That's usually what I do is play the top 10 that I've got. Yeah. So.
You can't go wrong with Kate Dalrymple, you know.
Stick to fit your cane.
so here we go then. What top 5 bothy ballads?
Oh, I quite like Sleep Beaton.
Yeah, good.
And then maybe Guy's a Tooth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then this is when you start. I quite like the Buck and Plumen, but it's made a more recent kind of edition.
Yeah.
What else? Oh.
Who wrote the Buck and Plumen?
I can't mind. Maybe Alan Taylor, if he's still there, will maybe help me.
Taylor will tell us. Yeah.
I think it's kind of the Morris stuff question.
Right. Okay. So it's quite recent. Right. Okay. Well, that's quite good though, because that means it's still kind of. So there is still bothy ballads being written then.
When we're saying recent, it's maybe 80 years ago. 90. Depends.
And that's still recent.
When you're my age, that's not that bad. That's really not bad at all.
So no, I think I've tried to write a couple of songs in a bothy ballad style.
That's your answer.
I'm doing an essay just for a culture thing about 100 years ago. There we go. That's what we needed.
Very modern.
Yeah.
With the time.
It was a number 1 at the time for 5 weeks in a row, I believe. Wet, knocked it off. Number 1.
Again.
Never mind.
So do you find that it's very much a niche, the kind of writing of a bothy ballad that works, or do you find that there is bits in it that can be done by anyone?
I think like the same issues still apply to a lot of the stuff today. Like I didn't work on a firm, but I work in a shop and I deal with the exact same issues. Maybe unfriendly customers, or maybe that kind of.
Do you do these a size 9?
Yeah, I've only got 8. You know what I mean? So no, the same stuff applies. It's just a different setting nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I think that'd be quite a good thing to do a bothy ballad style song about working in a sports shop.
I would
the centre of Glasgow. Because no doubt there's folk out there that have been in a similar situation throughout Scotland, be it having known the Bothy ballads, but not really into it, but then working in retail establishments when at university and things like that. So I think it'd be quite a big hit, actually.
One for the noggin.
Yeah, go for that. Let's hear that one. When you do it, we'll have a first. You can come back on and sing us the.
Yes.
The JD Sports rant. And it'll be a real runner. It'll run away with itself.
So Bonnie Ship the Diamond's the next song. And this is a staple for a lot of folk sessions as well. Definitely in Dundee. But it's another kind of wailing song, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the same again. It's the wailing songs and the Bothy ballads that are the staple for Scots trad in the northeast.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also was this from the final or was it the semi-final? This is from the finals.
This is from the semi-finals. I like to play a game when I'm looking at the videos of guess how old I am from what hair I have. I change my hair every couple of months, so you're kind of, when was that?
I go by the colour of mine. It used to be brown and it's getting gradually. I'm starting to look
I'm
like
the
a
same.
couple of folk now.
50 shades of blonde.
Yeah, I'm going for the cremola foam look now. It's starting to get there.
I believe the term you're looking for is salt and pepper, Peter.
Frosted tips.
Frosted tips. So here we go. Bonnie Ship the Diamond.
I love this song.
The diamond is a ship, my lads, and the dearest to reach is bound, and the kate is a garnished wi' bonny lassies round. Captain Thompson gives the orders to sail the ocean wide, when the sun it never sets, my lads, nor darkness dims the sky. And it's cheer up, my lads, that your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the diamond goes fishing for the whale. Along the quay, up Peter Heed, all the lassies turn a room, when their shawls all hold around them, and sad tears running down. Well, then you weep, my bonny lass, though you'll be left a hen, for that rose will grow on Greenland's ice before we change your mind. And it's cheer up, lads, that your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the diamond goes fishing for the whale. Here's a health and a resolution, likewise you lies as one. 3 cheers to the bath and home and toast the diamond ship will fail. We'll be the truths and so the fight and the jiggets so the blue. When we get back to Peter Heath, hey sweethearts too. And it's cheer up, lads, that your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the diamond goes fishing for the whale. It'll be brecht by day and night when the Greenland lass come home. We're ship full up with oil, my lads, and money to our name. We'll mark the cradles 40 rock and the blankets 40 tear. When every lass in Peter Heath sing hush-a-ba, my dear. And it's cheer up, my lads, that your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the diamond goes fishing for the whale. And it's cheer up, my lads, that your hearts never fail, for the bonny ship the diamond goes a-fishing for the whale. Thank you very much. Thank you to both of you for accompanying me.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Do you know, the only thing I can't get it out of my head whenever I see a whale, I start singing that song, and I shouldn't really, because it's about hunting them, and it's not really what I should be singing about. Yeah.
No.
Well, as Peter was obviously down in Dundee last week, and we met up on the Saturday for some food and a bit of a sightseeing tour.
When I was talking about a whale, and then suddenly you're...
Let me finish.
I'm not getting involved.
Yeah.
Dundee is very well known for whaling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was telling him the Discovery. I don't know if you know this yourself, Ellie. The Discovery was built in Dundee as a research ship. But the reason they built it in Dundee is because of the whaling history and building whaling ships like the Baleine and things like that.
Mhm.
And unlike most ships where it's kind of angled at the front, it's flat, so it can break through the ice.
Oh.
I did point this out to you, Peter, but you maybe weren't paying attention.
No, I was paying attention. I just
There will
didn't
be
fancy. I don't fancy going on it, breaking through the ice is the thing.
There will be an exam next week, by the way, just to let you know.
Yeah. It better be multiple choice.
But no, the very much a connection between the northeast and down where I am about the whole whaling thing.
And Shetland as well. Shetland's huge with the whale.
That's because you had the whales round you a bit. We just came and stabbed them, dragged them back. Not the Vikings. That was Shetland.
See, when we were out last year, my father-in-law Marshall took us out in the boat, and the humpback whales come up round about us, and there was 2 or 3 of them were about 50 feet long. And how anybody could have done that job whaling must have been petrifying. It must have been absolutely petrifying. When you see the size of these beasties, you see them. They like, if they decided just to butt your boat out, we'd have been mincemeat. We'd have had it.
Well, that's why they were big boats.
Well, gee whiz. There we go. Yeah, but it's fab.
But no. Yes.
So what's going up in the immediate future? Christmas. I know Christmas is coming, but
Christmas?
Is it?
I've got my Christmas tree in the back that my flatmate decorated lovely, but no, nothing much. Just hopefully planning some gigs for next year. And
you must be a fairly rich student if you've got a Christmas tree.
The flat came with a Christmas tree.
Oh, right, okay. We used to decorate a tomato plant.
I actually had a tenant's Christmas tree a couple of years ago made out of tenant's plants. My pride and joy.
What are they all yours?
If my mum's watching, no.
All these other folk.
103 cans. That was.
Right.
So.
And you thought about doing that in November.
End of November. The tree was up by the 3rd of December. Yep. That's good.
But no, other than that, not very lot.
So if there are any...
I was interrupting there. You were saying what you had immediate plans. You were going to be doing some gigs.
Just a couple of gigs. I'm in some classes. I just finished doing the Grit Orchestra with RCS, the Martin Bennett stuff.
Right.
Yes, that was with Keir Milne on pipes, isn't it?
Yes.
That's next week's guest.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I think it is. Maybe it's not. I could be wrong. Is that maybe? He's definitely booked in. Don't know when for though.
I can't mind.
No, it's next week. It's next week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, just finished that and an amazing experience singing there. Lizzie Higgins and Sheila Stewart stuff. It was amazing.
Do you get the opportunity with the classical stuff to go abroad during the course of that to see stuff or work with people abroad when you were saying you'd ultimately like to end up in Germany?
You used to be able to, but because of the Brexit stuff, I think they've maybe changed it, so a bit of a pain.
Brexit and COVID's not really been kind to the music industry, has it? Really?
No, Tartan 18 moved to Glasgow and everything went down the drain. So.
Well, it can only get better then, can't it? It can only get better.
Exactly. But no, hopefully we'll get a while and do something then.
But listen, thanks so much for coming on the show tonight, Ellie. It's been fantastic to meet you.
Thank you for hearing me.
We've had loads of nice comments tonight. There's lots of folk out there who really enjoyed this show. It's been fantastic. Remember, folks, if you want to follow Ellie, you'll find her on Facebook, Ellie Beaton Song, and I'm sure that'd be a great place to source what she's going to be bringing out, recordings, etc., and she'll keep you up to date. Because being a musician, she'll be totally on top of her social media stuff and keep it up to date all the time.
Mostly.
So we're going to finish off, Ellie, with a Scots ballad, because we've not really had one of them yet, and it's the well-known Macpherson's Rant.
Sure.
Do you want to kind of introduce this with something before we let you go?
Yeah, it's about a Robin Hood kind of character who unfortunately gets hanged in Banff for all the things that he did wrong. So that's that one.
But they put the clock forward, didn't they, to hang him?
They did.
The pardon was on its way, and they saw it coming. They thought, "No, we've got to get rid of this character," so they swept the clock forward.
The legend is that the clock on the Macduff side doesn't face Banff on a mare because the Macduffers never went Banff to see the time. That's where the clock faces the other way. Legend.
There we go.
The Tories. Anyway.
There's no politics in this show. Ellie, thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure meeting you and wish you all the success. Have a great Christmas and a New Year. And we'll see you sometime.
Thank you likewise, Stephen L.
Thanks,
All
Ed.
best.
Take care.
See you again.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Fair oily dungeons dark and strong, along fair wheel to thee. Macpherson's time will no be long on yonder gallows tree. It was by a woman's treacherous hand that I was condemned to die. She carried me over to a windowsill, and a blanket she threw over me. I see Rantonley, see Dantonley, see wantonly good he played a tune and he danced it a tune up below the gallows tree. Oh, the laird o' Grant, oh, that healing sant, when he first laid hands on me. He pleads the cause o' Peter Brown, ach, let Macpherson die. Untie these bands fair round my hands, and bring to me my sword. There's no a man in Scotland, but I'll believe him at a word. I say Rantonley, say Dantonley, say wantonly good he played a tune and he danced a tune up below the gallows tree. And some come here for to see me hanged, and some to buy my fiddle. But afore the tide of Pertwee, her Alberacher o'er the middle. He's ta'en the fiddle into both his hands, and brought it tower wi' a steen. There's no another's gonna play on her, for I am deed and gane. I say Rantonley, say Dantonley, say wantonly good he played a tune and he danced a tune up below the gallows tree. Oh, little did my mother think, when first she cradled me, that I would turn to the roving trade. I and I'd hang fi galas tree. But a prief was coming now the breg o Banff, 47 Macpherson free. But she pet the clock there 4:15, and they hanged him fi the tree. Say Dantonley, say Dantonley, say wantonly gate he. He played a tune and he danced at a rune, below the gallows tree.
Brilliant. So nice to finish with something unaccompanied as well, because that just really lets you hear the purity of Ellie's voice.
We'll need to thank the producer for that set order.
Producer, you. Well done, Davey. You did very well. Yeah.
I thought it would, because a lot of them were all accompanied and things. I thought it would be nice to end just with Ellie's voice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And what a hard thing to do, actually, just stand and sing unaccompanied. But that upbringing through that bothy ballad tradition and all that kind of stuff as well. That was good. There's Alan.
The join-ins.
Brilliant. Hope you're well, Alan. Remember, folks, Alan does a wee show every Thursday night, I think. Alan, we've still got time here. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? Do you come on at 7:30 or 8 every Thursday? Let me know, and we'll give that a wee push. Alan comes on and sings all the bothy ballads and different things every Thursday night. It's great crack. But we'll keep talking until he gives us another comment saying 8 or 7:30. Or he might give us another comment and say Tuesday, but I think it's Thursdays. So anyway, so who have we got next week?
We'll do that later. You get your pipes back.
I got my pipes back. My pipes are stunning. Thursday, 8 o'clock. You can join Alan Taylor on his Facebook page. And I'm sure he'd be delighted to see you folks, because he's put a lot of hard work in doing all that stuff, and he's great. Magic guy. What a nice man as well. Right.
Your pipes.
My pipes came back from Derek Marr. And can I highly recommend Derek's services to any pipers out there that's got a set of pipes that you're wanting them just a wee clean up, or you're maybe found an old set in the loft and you're wanting them done up or whatever. Mine have come back like new, and they were made in 1925, so they're nearly 100-year-old. And the silver ivory is stunning, absolutely stunning. I've had a new sheepskin bag fitted, which I'm delighted with. And the boys done the whole lot. And then Ali Hutton set them up, stuck some new drone reeds on them for me and a new chant, and my pipes are sounding the best they've ever sounded in years. And it makes me want to play them again. You know that? It just makes me want to play them. So please, if you've got stuff out there, get it going again, because brilliant. There's Tony Kins there. Yeah, brilliant workmanship. And his son done a wee bit of work in my pipes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's a family affair, but nothing was too much trouble. Everything was just like, no bother. Do this, do that. Now you're talking, right? When I said, can we get rid of the synthetic bag and get a sheep sting, yeah, now we're talking. Let's get this set of pipes going again. So, and they're looking awesome. Water traps, everything. No problem.
So,
and I even got them back for you. You had a hundred for a wee while, and I got them back.
I had the hold of for 2 days.
Yeah, and you did, but you have pointed out if I die young, I could leave them to use to keep them going.
No. You die.
What? Just if I die? It doesn't matter if I die young or what.
Regardless when you can use them for me, and I'll look after them.
There's Derek. There's the Bagpipe Refurb Company. Fantastic job these lads done. I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to get my fingers going a wee bit again. I'm going to record a wee set of tunes in my pipes, and we'll play it some night just to show folks.
Mine record it sideways.
I will.
That way, not that way.
Aye.
That way.
Aye.
The that
I've
ties us
got
in with
to
next
wait till
week's.
the snow goes off, though. I'll wait till the snow goes.
That ties us in with next week's guest,
Yes.
who is a piper.
Yep.
And whistle player.
Yep.
From Dundee.
Was he in Dundee as well?
Yeah.
It's there's quite a lot of things coming out of Dundee these days.
Save us. Yeah, we've got Keir Milne, who currently is registered with the Grade 1 band Inverary, as well as studying at the Conservatoire.
Yeah, and he was involved with that thing that Ellie was involved
He
with.
was, yeah, he was involved with Grit, with the Grit Orchestra.
Yeah.
So yeah, fantastic. Another cracking guest, and that was the last guest of the year.
Yeah.
You know, because the following week
Another
is
thing
Christmas
that's
Day.
happened, I've started my new job as well.
You
since
have?
last week. Yeah,
You have?
I'm now teaching classroom music in Yale and Unst for the next year, covering maternity cover. And maternity
You're not
leave.
pregnant.
I'm not pregnant. You'd think I was sometimes when you're on. I'm covering that, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm working for primary 1 right up to secondary 4, which is fantastic. It's all Christmassy just now, though, Davey. It's all ho ho ho.
Joyce.
I
She
love it.
didn't have to serve the beer, did
Yeah, I know. I could have made some side money, Santa Claus. It's you know when Harry Potter came out the first time, I had brown hair and I got the gigs as Hagrid. I was outside the bookshop and that, standing with a big coat and the owl on my shoulder and all that.
Who?
An owl. Who?
Who?
To it. And now, 20 years later, I get the Santa Claus gigs.
To be fair, when Robbie Coltrane was around, he just took any gig he could get.
Yeah.
Wasn't he shy of working?
Anyway, right, one more show, folks, next week. Join us for that one. And then it'll be Christmas. We'll have a wee break over Christmas and New Year this year. And then we'll be back with you in January 2023. Who would have believed it? That'll be us clocking into the 3rd year of Tartan Tunes.
Yeah. Maybe the 3rd time getting a Trad Awards nomination.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter.
What do we have to learn now? We've tried Gaelic. We've tried French.
Funding.
What, funding? All right, okay. But Ellie was having problems with that. I think we had problems.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe, whatever the weather is out there. And look after yourselves. And we'll see you next week. See you, Davey.
Hi, Kava.
Cheers.